So you say you're tired, but tired from what? What does tired actually mean for you right now? Is it physical? Is it something else? When did this tiredness start? Because most people are saying they're tired. What is tired?
That is such a great question because tired can be so many different things. Um, so I think, and my observation is particularly in our market that we see these trends of patterns of it's now March, people are tired
Mm,
because it's April and it's the April holidays
yes.
and people need to get away.
Mm,
And typically, what we see in the South African market is that people go on holiday in April, and it's almost like December,
yeah,
in
it
that
is.
April shuts down because there's so many holidays and people go away and they kind of switch off. And so it is one of the reasons why this time of year in March people are tired is because they're already planning on switching off for the April holidays and for Easter, and they're already going on holiday.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of the Uncovering Greatness podcast. As always, I am your host, Sully, and today I'm joined by Nicole Mitchell. Nicole is the lead processor at Uncovering Greatness, and what she does is she helps you find out what you want, she helps you get it. And I think this topic is great for business owners, people in business, probably looking at their teams right now going, how are these people also tired?
Yeah, it's a tough one because I think the other observation that I observe with this time of year is that it's a money thing too,
Mm,
because you see the trend with the pattern and you see the trend with the money, the holidays,
yeah.
the money, it's the same thing. So December, everybody spent all their money. January, people had no money. February, they're just playing catch up. And March, now they have money.
Yeah,
And now it's exhausting because what am I going to spend it on?
back at it.
We're right back at it. We're going on holiday. We're planning this. We're planning that. We're planning the next thing. And then by the end of April, people are already exhausted because, well, they're exhausted now because a lot of them have spent their money already on their holidays that they're going away in April. Um, and then the other observation is that people are really stuck on this fuel thing.
Yeah, that is true.
And it doesn't matter where you go or what you do, people are saying, fill your car up.
Yeah. And it's funny enough, it's a global thing. I've never seen, I mean, since COVID was the last time where I saw something hit globally so much where everybody, I mean, in Australia, they're talking about some petrol stations have literally run out because people have been hoarding fuel.
Yeah. And I mean, I heard that they're rationing fuel here in South
The
Africa.
diesel.
And are they?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
see. And I think it is exhausting people thinking about, oh, I'm going to have no money. And this is where people are already like, I'm going to have no money.
Yeah. They're already
And
in that
they're
vein.
already in that. There is,
Mm,
everything's going to go up and I'm going to have no money. And instead of like planning and like making a way around it, people are just going, well, they've resigned themselves to the fact that that's just the way it is.
And I mean that's got to be a really tough one for a business owner, right? Because like I've been hearing on radio people talking about, I don't think I'm gonna come to work because the fuel price is going up. So now I kind of almost feel like the business owner's got to think for their employees as well in terms of how am I gonna get my staff here? Because my take is I don't think anybody wants to go back to a lockdown type thing, for example, right? Where we're working from home.
No, it's not optimum to have people working from home. For certain businesses, for some businesses, that's okay. But I think for most businesses, staff are way more productive when they're in the office
Yeah.
rather than out of the office. Um, and I think it's very much dependent on how far employees have to travel. And then also, it's also dependent on connectivity because a lot of people don't have connectivity where that they can work online. Um, So it becomes this real catch-22.
Mm. Do you think that some business owners are also tired right now because they're not having these conversations? Right? Like it's almost a thing of I can see it coming, but I do not want to put it in this space right now. So do you think that's causing a level of tiredness for people, for owners?
Most definitely, as a lot of business owners aren't having those conversations because the sooner I put it in the space, the sooner all my employees are going to whinge and whine and moan and groan. So,
And that then ripples. I didn't say ripples, ripples. Because if the owner's tired, do you think that that filters down the rest of the business?
oh, absolutely.
Mm.
And tiredness is a form of energy. So, in terms of tiredness, we look at tiredness as a mood. So, just like if somebody's grumpy and miserable, it filters through the whole organization. Tiredness is the same. It can be a mood, and people, it just filters through the organization,
Mm.
and it affects other people. And so, I just look at, how do you know if tiredness is a mood? Well, remove yourself from the space. And if you're still feeling tired, then it's probably not a mood. But generally, tiredness is a mood in that. I'll use this example. Have you ever been like in a training and you suddenly feel absolutely exhausted in this training? And then you walk outside to get some fresh air and you feel fine.
Yeah. I've had that in meetings. I don't need a training.
Okay, meetings or connecting, or you go to somebody's house and
Yeah.
or you in church or whatever. There's a whole bunch of different scenarios
Yeah.
where people experience it. And that's just, tiredness is a mood because you walk out and suddenly you're not tired anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when there's a resistance to something, because generally that's what causes the tiredness, is there's a
Ooh, okay.
resistance to. So either you don't want to hear what the person's saying, either it's too overwhelming for you, it's too much information. It might be information, how to use it.
Mm.
There's a whole lot of different things that causes that tiredness and that mood. So it's there's a resistance to something which causes the tiredness. And then, you're in the meeting, somebody's blah, 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 and they're just going on and on and on and on and on. And
Just keep
you walk
talking.
outside for your tea break and it's like, I feel fine now.
God, where does this energy come from?
The fresh air outside here is
Yeah.
amazing. Like it's so stuffy in there.
It's fresh. It's amazing.
And it's often, yes, there are those facts. However, there was something in the meeting you didn't want to hear, or the person said something, or whatever it was.
So do you think that in situations like that, as the business owners, let's just say it's a meeting where you can now pick up that everything's just went, what do I do now? I can feel that the energy has just dropped, and there's one person who's just talking, and it's not even the business owner. How do I now deal with that within the meeting? Because nobody's taking in the information that they've been given, and it might be important information that they need for the week.
Well, often, this is where have you created a space where people can actually ask questions? Because if you're truly present,
Yeah.
you'll be able to see that, look, half the people in this room are falling asleep. Like, let's actually ask them what's happening and go around and say, what's happening? Like, what are you learning? What are you not learning? And just ask some questions. Just sometimes, you just say, okay, let's have a break, and you three discuss what's happening, and the three of you discuss what you've learned. And just that alone is enough for people to actually express, like, I don't know where this is going. And then, sure, I feel so much better.
Mm.
And just that, being able to express how I'm feeling, like, oh, I don't understand what they said, or what impact is this going to have on things? And just people having a voice,
Yeah.
often will remove a lot of that tiredness or that heaviness that sits in the room, in meetings and things like that. So it is just breaking it up. And sometimes it's just people need that space to just actually process what they heard. So that's where you go outside and the fresh air and you think, oh, and your brain just has that little bit of space to actually unpack and kind of go, oh, this, and da 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 da, and it kind of reorganizes everything. And then you're like, oh, I'm good to go. And that's where a conversation will do the same thing.
Okay.
You're able to give your brain some space, can sort of reorganize things.
So now this next one's an interesting one because I feel like I've experienced it. So that's why it's interesting. But like, can avoiding something make you tired?
Well, that's exactly what I just said. I thought anyway. You don't want to know something that's a, a form of avoidance. If you're not present, that is a form of avoidance. If somebody's like asking you a million questions, da 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 da, how come you haven't done this? What did you say? How come, the customer said this, and someone, that's also a form of avoidance. And definitely when you are resisting something, you put this wall up. It's hard work holding up the wall.
It is. Yeah.
And that takes a lot of energy. And yes, it's a spiritual wall, but you still got to hold it in place. And then what happens is that's exhausting. And so, yes, avoiding is exhausting.
What do you think? And I think there's some things you've touched on. Don't worry, I'm paying attention. But right, so we've spoken about the fuel price and things like that. But in business right now, from I don't know, maybe the various clients you've had and people you spoke to, people are tired from in business right. And I know that that's a very
That is
broad,
such a broad question. So I do think a lot of people are in a pattern of we just got going and now we have to shut down.
Yeah, I can see that.
So we just got going. We got through January. It took us, we only came back the second week of January. It's like February, we kind of we're playing catch up. And now we've just hit normal stuff. And now all these holidays are coming and everyone's going on leave. And now we're going to have to like stop, start. And a lot of that is subconscious because that is the patterns of, I'd say, our marketplace in terms of generally in South Africa, that's what happens. People shut down in April.
Yeah.
With all the public holidays and people go away and people want a holiday. And
I mean, that's an interesting one because I just thought about it now. That is, in a sense, something that happened in our team, in our business, right? We came back in Jan, second week of Jan. We hit the ground running because we had the last sales explosion that Barry was teaching. We went. Sales explosion happened. And then it was, oh, now we're hitting this April time where it's like, you're gone.
What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Everybody's, going away and people don't want to do anything and people don't want to commit to things. And people are telling you, oh, no, let's after the holiday, after all the public holidays, we'll circle back to that. Yeah.
We mean circle back. I want to do it now.
And that's the problem is that it's a mindset of this is the way it's all been. And don't actually think that is true anymore. I don't think it's like that because people don't have the money to go away as much as they used to. I mean, I know going back 20 years ago when our kids were little, we'd go away for the whole of April because it was school holidays and we'd take a month off and we'd you took, I don't know, 10 days and you got 3 weeks leave, that sort of thing. And we would do that. And we literally would go away for 3 to 4 weeks. And now, if you're actually honest, how many people are you seeing going away for 3 to 4 weeks? People are tending to go away for or Easter, or a weekend here, or they'll go away for a week and they'll take a week off, but they're not taking that 3 to 4 weeks off anymore.
Do you think that that sort of even the financial pressure, because like the way you explained that, like you said 20 years, I can go 5 years back where
Well,
people would do,
pre-COVID.
yeah, pre-COVID, people were doing it, right? Especially during this time period.
And I mean, COVID was 6 years ago.
Freaking hell. COVID is 6 years ago. This thing's still
2019, we're 2026.
Nah, I canceled out those 2 years of my life.
Oh, so did most people.
But like, do you think that, because now I'm thinking more about the fact that I don't have money to do, or that's not that I don't have money, I don't have the money that I used to have to be able to go do those things. And that's creating its own level of tiredness for people right now.
Correct, because it's like we used to take 3 weeks holiday. Now we can only take a week's holiday. And people, I think, are realizing that financially they're actually going backwards.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the amount of money that they used to have. And so it's putting pressure on people. And that creates tiredness. And people don't want to say, financially, I feel like I'm going backwards, or I don't have the reserves that I used to have. And I mean, I saw it this morning. I forgot to pay my credit card, and they phoned me today. It's not even
31st.
It's still March.
Yeah, just chill out, dude. What do you want?
It's not even the first of the month.
Yeah. Wait.
And they're already eating. And that just tells me that more and more people are defaulting on penance.
Oh, okay.
Because that's why they're jumping all over it.
Yeah, we're trying to get all over it, because by tomorrow there's going to be probably more people we try to follow up with already.
But also, if people haven't paid, like, I don't know what it's like in your house, but in my house, most of the debit orders go off on the 1st. So if people haven't paid by the 1st, it's less likely for them to get their money. So they're already phoning.
Oh, okay, so I'm preempting.
So the different companies are phoning sooner.
That's great. Do you think that this, because we've now brought up COVID, and I'm not saying that, how do I structure this question? I'm trying to make sense of this, because I don't want to make it a COVID thing. Feel that this tiredness that people have is new. It's not just something that started recently.
No, it's not. And that's where I'm talking about the patterns of holidays and finances and things that people have had them for years. I'm talking, we've been going on holiday in April for 20 years because that's when school holidays are. Now we don't do that because our kids are not at school anymore. So we'll take our holidays sometime else. But it's just having that awareness of those are the trends of people.
Okay.
And like April's holiday time. So I get to shut down in April because there's so many holidays, and and so people are already shutting down before the holidays even come.
What do you think that's something like that is costing businesses? Like that shut down unexpectedly?
Millions. Because people are not productive.
So how do I get them back productive? How do I inject energy back into my team, especially during this, like the fact that you brought this time period up? This was not even my intention, but I promise you, I was not thinking about the holiday part of it. I really wasn't. And then you brought, this is gonna look so.
Well, you asked all the time. I'm like, you brought up the tiredness.
No, I know I wasn't thinking about Easter, but you brought it up, and I didn't want to look like I was a genius by stealing your thunder. So I want to give you your flowers in front of everybody, because I think
chocolate.
No, I will not be part of breaking whatever health things you got going on. If you don't, maybe I'll give you some speckled eggs, like a small bag.
It's Easter. You're supposed to give chocolate.
Easter eggs are expensive right now. Just
but this is exactly it. Is that in terms of people are also looking at that, going, Easter's expensive.
Yeah.
Like you go, you go look at the price of Easter eggs. My word, I nearly fell over. I'm like, how does the Easter Bunny
And we're
like
not talking about the fancy Easter eggs. We're talking about the
No.
normal box, the classic box that we've all had forever is now close to 200 rand.
But also that go and buy hollow chocolate eggs.
Yes.
I mean, I look at like 60 rand for 6 eggs. I'm like, flipping heck.
Easter Bunny is making money.
And it's just, and I think that's also part of the problem is people often going, oh my gosh, this is expensive. And
Man, and it's such a small thing that you don't even, I mean, we think about it, but it's like you say, you don't think about it consciously.
and if you've got, like, if you are in the habit of buying, your family Easter eggs, and I'm not talking about just your children, I'm talking about, different people, and
Yeah.
you want, previously you remember the lint bunnies, things. Well, it's nothing to spend 1,000 rand on Easter eggs.
No.
And like, I looked at some of the stuff and went, you've got to be kidding.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 rand on just chocolate eggs. Like it's crazy, but and that's exhausting for people to look at. It's like people are still trying to work out how they're going to pay their rent, their groceries, their fuel.
The freaking credit card, like you just said, people are already calling you.
And then now I've got a plan for, what is it, 9 rand hike on diesel. And people are going, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And there's this absolute exhaustion around things that I'm used to giving them. And so in this perspective, it's really challenging to get to the point where you've got employees that feel like you don't pay me enough.
Big one. Oh my goodness.
That's what's happening this time of year is people are being triggered into that because I can't afford to go on holiday. I can't afford to buy my kids Easter eggs and off my credit card. And people are going, you don't pay me enough. And now the employer is trying to motivate those employees. It's a really rough place to be.
Yeah. It is.
And so it's this catch-22 in terms of how do you motivate people that think you don't care about them and think that you're not interested in supporting them.
How do you, from your experience, how do you navigate that minefield? Because like that is just something I'm seeing all over on social media right now. People are getting paid enough, so they're taking on two or three different jobs. And I'm like, cool, I get it. And it's the whole thing of my company should pay me enough. And I've become the guy in the comment section who's like, based off what though?
And that's the challenge is that, one, do you provide enough for your business? Like in terms of the company you work for, are you going over and above?
Yeah, showing up is not going over and above.
Are you delivering on the things that you've promised? If you were to take out your contract where it says you need to do A, B, and C, are you doing C? Because most people are doing half of A and half of B and a little bit of C.
X, Y, and Z, and it's like nobody asked you to do that. What are you doing?
And this is the problem is that it becomes this catch-22 because employees go, why should I do that? My employer doesn't pay me enough. And then the employer's going, you're not doing what you're supposed to anymore. And it's this vicious cycle all the time. And somewhere somebody's got to give.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's the employee that needs to start investing time into their business in order for the employer to
make a move.
Because the employer can't keep forking out money.
No. And I mean, so funny enough, I was actually talking to a friend the other day and he was just telling me about like the restructuring that is happening in their company. And they had to let go of like 90 plus people. And with that, one of the reasons for that is because the people that were left, more got put on them. But most people don't see it like that, right? They see it like, well, we've lost all these people, so there's 90 plus salaries that are available. I'm doing 5 people's jobs now. I should get at least some of that. But you don't look at the part where it's like, yeah, but we lost like 40% of our client base.
Client base.
Yeah.
And generally, the reason why you lost 40% of your client base is because the employees weren't doing what they were supposed to do
100%.
somewhere along the line and dropped the ball.
Mm.
And I'm not saying that
Yep.
we're all perfect and that, you know, we all drop the ball somewhere.
Yep.
But it's just important to just be aware of, you know, there is a flow of money and what does it cost to run a business? Most employees have no concept of what it costs to run a business.
No.
And, you know, they kind of see, oh, the boss drives a fancy car.
Mm.
So he should be able to pay us more. But they have no concept of anything that happens, you know, in terms of, like, I just look at like systems and what systems cost to run.
Yeah.
So you just take your accountant. If you have a good accountant and a good bookkeeper that you are paying to run your books, you're looking at 10 to 15,000 at least.
Easily. That's
Okay.
just one system.
And that's just one system. That's just the system that pays salaries.
Mm.
And then you've got to then add on all the hidden costs that go with that. And this is where people don't understand, is that your accounting package costs you money. Someone to actually input the stuff into the accounting package costs money.
Yep.
And those are all hidden costs because employees don't see that.
Mm-mm.
They don't see that you have to pay for your accounting package and how much it costs.
Even like rent.
And then they have no concept of rent.
Mm.
And then they have no understanding of things like just those sort of hidden costs around, you know, provisional tax.
Mm.
And I mean, I've seen it recently just in terms of, you know, one of our staff members got paid commission and they couldn't understand why they got paid so little.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to explain to this person how the tax brackets work. And just because you earn this much does not mean, you know, and your commission would have bumped you up into a higher tax bracket.
Yes.
And that, like, but I'm earning more money, but I'm getting less
Less.
money. And I'm like, yes, that's what happens.
It's the tax,
And
man.
unfortunately, you know, where you sat, you would have been better off not getting the commission.
Mm. In a sense, yeah, for sure. The amount.
But yes, you can claim that money back at the end of the year because, you know, it was a once-off payment and you can go and you can get a tax return done, but that also costs money.
Yeah.
And this is where it's understanding that the system is designed the way it's designed so that you pay tax.
Yep.
And then you have to pay to claim that money back.
Yep.
Why? Because, well, why would the government want you?
Just give you money. That's not part of their system.
Correct. So it's just having all those awarenesses of all this hidden costs, and it costs a lot of money to run a business. And I think most business owners, if you actually sat with them and asked them, do you have a budget for the year? They probably don't. Do you have a plan as to what you're going to spend on marketing, what you're going to spend on advertising, how you're going to recoup that money back, those kind of things? And I think most business owners, never mind the employees, the business owners aren't prepared for it, which makes it that more challenging. So it's this vicious cycle of understanding money. And I mean, the best advice I would give most business owners is go and do some financial literacy courses and understand how money works, and then start teaching your employees. Give them tools. Like, most people do not know what a budget is. Most people do not know what a financial plan is.
Nope.
Most people have no idea of what they spend their money on every month.
No.
And I mean, I saw it recently, you know, the complex that where we live, there is one of the employees there who he comes every Tuesday and cleans up the dustbins and that sort of things. And he actually asked me, please, can you check when the company paid me? So I just asked the accountant, please, can you give me all the dates that he got paid from, I don't know, November, so that I can just make sure that he got paid every month.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said to him, these are the dates you got paid. Check on your bank that you got this money.
Mm-hmm.
And he just looks at me and he said, no, it's okay. I trust you. You won't rob me. I don't always check how much money I have money and I use it.
Mm.
And it's just that.
Yeah, that's
And
sad.
I know that he, it's a low level employee, but most businesses are dealing with people like this,
True story.
and I say low level in terms of financial literacy. There's not huge financial literacy. It's like, I've got this much money and this is what I'm going to do with it.
Yes, this is going
That's
to.
it.
Yep, this is going to X. That's done.
And I'm living for now. There's no ability to plan. There's no ability to see into the future.
Nope.
There's, what am I going to do next week? How am I going to eat next week? Those kind of things. And so if you can sit with your employees and give them some form of financial literacy, but that takes time,
Does.
effort, and energy
Yeah, yeah. You're
to
already
do
tired.
that. And people, it's a very touchy subject because people don't want you to know how much, I say, crap they're in, how much they owe, how much and I mean, when I used to run my laundromat, I mean, I saw it. Come month end, I had a big problem in my laundry. The ladies wouldn't answer the phone. And it took eventually I said, what is going on?
Yeah.
And they don't want to answer the phone because they owe money. And it's all the loan sharks and it's all these people phoning. And it is that. And it's just like, this is not cool. And I mean, I used to sit with those ladies and right, how much do you owe? How much are you going to pay? And get them to a place where they didn't have all these loans hanging over them.
Yeah.
And, and this is where you've got Fika and Poppy and who knows whatever else acts that are there to try and stop all this stuff from happening. But if I'm truly honest, I don't think that it's stopping all these loan sharks and things from happening. People are still taking loans and things like that. And it's just, people do take advantage of other people, unfortunately,
Desperate
because they see desperate people coming and they're like,
don't tell you that it's the interest rate on this is 85%.
Don't joke. I've seen that.
I'm not joking. I don't think it's something that I know.
It is awful when you see how people borrow money because they can only focus for now.
Yeah.
And they're not seeing that at 85%, there is no way in hell
No.
that they are ever going to pay that loan back.
No, you're not paying it back next month. Unless
you win the lotto.
A miracle happens. And the worst part is if you win the lotto, you're going to forget about that 85% and you're going to go make some other debt somewhere.
On that too. So it's a really tough one. And it is, you have to educate people on financial literacy. And that would be the biggest thing that I would advise business owners. Take some time and do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's such a great point because maybe a business owner might be watching this and go in the laundromat example that you gave, which is not it's a real thing, but it's still an example where it could be like a thing of, well, just fire them. Well, the thing is, you're probably just going to end up repeating it with the next group of people that come in because the level of the work that's required is not like a high level thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the type of employee that you need for this position is very different.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately, it becomes this catch-22 because the moment you educate people, they move up and they, either way, you're going to land up losing people. in some way, shape, or form, but it is better to leave people in a better space and role educate them so that, you know, you are going to have that handful that stay and stick around and support you and are loyal. And those are the people you're actually looking for.
Yeah.
And if you can create some loyalty with a handful of people, they will protect your business from the inside. And that's the problem is a lot of business owners think that, you know, every employee is there to rip them off and they're going to treat every employee like that. But I can guarantee you, you invest some time, effort, and energy into those employees, it will come back and you will reap the rewards over a period of time. It is going to take time, though.
Any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Yeah, interesting topic. It is, and it's just having that awareness that when people are tired, there's an issue. And you need to find out what it is. And so it's important to start ask the right questions. And then also be aware that, yes, as a business owner, you are going to get blamed for every financial thing that the employee doesn't have. It's going to be your issue. And so it's just understanding, role educate them so they stop blaming you.
I think my final thoughts would be, because you brought up marketing, but I didn't want to cut you off because you were in flow. Something that's super important, just because AI has come in, I'm seeing a lot of small business owners starting to put money into AI things, listening to these AI experts, blah blah.
Yes.
That is bleeding you money.
But even social media is bleeding people money.
Social media is bleeding businesses money. And I think something that you mentioned, which is so important, you don't really, one, you don't have a budget for it. And two, you actually don't have a plan or a strategy of what you're trying to achieve with social media. So you're just throwing money out there, hoping it sticks. And guess what? There's some guy or agency or girl that's collecting this money. Give me, I'm going to get you what you want. And they keep just giving you the vanity metrics of likes and shares and all that nonsense. And guess what? It doesn't turn into any money. And I am saying this based on somebody who has not generated any money as a social media expert for a very long time until I figured out what I was doing.
Yeah. So have a plan, get a budget, get yourself educated. You know, we live in a world of information. You have information at your fingertips.
Literally.
So, yeah, use it.
See you guys next week.
Bye.